Hey, 7K team. Hey, quick message today uh, on how to succeed in 7K, how to succeed in network marketing. And we're a network marketing company. We're a member direct referral company. Okay, that's what we are. We're a referral company. We're a direct selling company. We're a member direct marketing company. No, we're not a multi-level marketing company. I'm not going to get in that subject. But I teach a success system. Everybody knows it's called the seven pieces of paper. Now, this is how to succeed. This is not how to build your business, but it's an integral thing. If you follow this system, those seven pieces of paper, you're going to succeed because you're going to learn the basic skills, attitudes, and techniques that it takes. And yes, it is how you say it. It is what you say. It is what you do. And anyone that tells you it isn't is wrong. Not if you want to build up a long-term residual income. Now, the company and I and the leader, we're all on the same message of how to build your business through peak interest and then proper follow-up and launching people properly. Okay? We're all doing the same thing. And we've been doing it for 8.5 years. That them and using the tools that the company has. See, we got to adapt to use the current tools of where we at and in place. So how you do that is the skills, attitudes, and techniques that must embody. Okay. So teaching this and duplicating it is how you succeed. So what I want to do is I'm not going to give my seven pieces of paper training. Okay, so hang with me for a minute. Let's let's talk about this and let's see if this can help people get back on stream to doing the right things and to, for those of you who've been here for a while, a long time, help you get back on stream and start building that residual income. And the key is that first piece of paper and going over it with them because we you got to treat it like a job. You got to treat it like a career. Okay, but you got to learn first, just like anything in life. And this is why this is so important to go over. But the material difference is that you can create a residual income. That's the difference. Now, for some of you, it may take 10 years, but at least you're with a vehicle that you can get there and you build wealth at the same time. You're not in an expense world with lotions, potions, pills, patches, and anything else that comes along. Water machines, water. Oh, there have been so many water machines that you just blow your mind with. Okay, they're going to make you healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? Wrong. None of them ever do. Something better comes along and they replace it. It's just called replacement spending so everybody else can make commissions off of you. Bull. Okay. Okay, I'm not into that, but that piece of paper is critical to go over with right after they join because they got to make a commitment, and making that commitment is the key for 2 years, 2 years to learn, 5 to 10 hours a week. The next piece of paper is extremely important, and this is really what I'm going to concentrate on. This is what I find that people aren't doing, even themselves, even 7K lifers that are here. You're not doing your 10 hours a week. And if you're full time 7K and you're not at least doing 10 hours a week, according to my job description, you're just playing. You're just wishing. You're just hoping. Okay. What do you do in those 10 hours? I lay it out. Now, for those of you that's been in this business longer than 2 years and you do not have a spiral notebook or two or three or four of them filled up with names and got a name on one page each, and you don't have at least 500 names on that list, that's why you're not succeeding because you don't have a work with it. You don't have something to do every day. Okay. So Make a commitment to yourself to start today in compiling that list of 500 people. I don't care if you've already talked to the people. You put their names down there. That's all part of it. And you'll have, if you've already talked to them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they should be in that list if they're not a member. Or if they're a member, they should be in that list. So you have a lot of personally sponsored people or people you help sponsor. Okay. Now, these are your people, not the people you help sponsor for someone else. That's their list. Okay. So that's this thing right here. Your initial list is everybody in your phone. That's your initial list. Okay. And so this is the key is making 5 contacts, 5 touches every day. So if you've already gone through your warm market, now I'm teaching new people, brand new people, what you can look forward to do after you kickstart your business with you and your sponsor or your first upline leader that you're working with. And you should be working in a team. If you're doing the business the way we teach in the company, the way I have taught for the beginning, for my entire network marketing career, I teach to work in a team, not just an individual going out doing it themselves, because that's not very duplicatable. See, I'm not that duplicatable when I first start because I don't have anybody to work with me in my team. But I become a teammate to a lot of people. And then we replicate that process. Okay. But here, exposed me. If you're not doing this is why you're not succeeding. If you're not doing it with follow-up, if you're not texting one of those little pictures of gold, what you were doing if you bought gold 3 years ago, if you're not texting a picture of the graph of the dollar and your link to your website or your join link with that text, if you're not just doing that on that list, then you're never going to succeed because see, this is your job. This is the income producing activity that results in income. And you got to do a lot of touches over time. A lot of, well, peaks is what the company called. I've always called them touches. You got to touch people. Now you're going to be meeting new people every day in your life. Well, but you'll add them to that list. Every time you meet somebody, you want to meet, get to know them. You want to get their contact information over a period of time or at that instant. Okay. A lot of people aren't just willing to hand out their contact information. Some people can elicit it better than others. But the key is getting good at that. Okay. And getting yourself in a position or in positions to meet more people. Joining Chamber of Commerce. I've been a member of Chamber of Commerce here ever since I've been in 7K. Now, I go to some meetings. I haven't been doing it as much lately, but I'm going to get re-engaged there again myself. Okay. And joining other organizations where you get to meet people, joining causes, things to do, especially if you're not working full time. This becomes your time. You got to do your touches. Here's the other thing. For 2 years, if you hadn't watched one of my videos 5 days out of 7, one a week, one a day, then you haven't, you'll never learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques. I've got enough information stored up in my YouTube for those that's not in my band app. Band apps are private for the teams and team members so that they have a common thing they're doing together. But I post most of all my trainings. It's not as easy to find them in the YouTube, I admit. But I've got the videos there. They're everything you need is right there, stored up for you to become all you can be in learning how to promote, follow up, handle objections, uh, and build the business. But you've got to be putting in the 10 hours. Okay, this only takes the peaking. This doesn't even take a half hour to do five a day. I mean, actually, it takes 15 minutes, to be honest, if it takes that long to do your five a day. Okay. But if you're not doing your five a day, you can't succeed. You can't re-interest people. You can't, catch people at the right time of their life. You know, you'll let somebody else hook them for you, but they won't be for you. They'll be for them. But they're going to hook them because you let them get hooked. These are people in your list. Okay. Now, most of you are doing this that's been here, but those of you new, you got to do this. You got to do it for 2 years. This is a 2-year learning. This is 2-year getting exposed to the skills, attitudes, and techniques, and you learn by doing, and you learn by failing. Unfortunately, that's part of life. You learn by failing, but you get better so you don't fail. Okay, and you enjoy your successes, and you got to attend a team meeting. You got to get yourself attached to a local team, a team you're working with, that you attend it once a week. I'm not just talking about the corporate Zoom. Heck, you can catch that on a replay. Okay. The corporate Zoom is just staying up to date with corporate information. That's part of, this learning stuff up here. Okay. But if you're not doing this, this is reason you're failing. But see, that third piece of paper that I teach you is very, very critical because see, you may be here and you may have 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 or 500,000, whatever in volume over here, but you have zero here. Okay, you may be that person right there. Well, you can still learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques because when you put one person here and duplicate, you'll start making income because you just need one on the left and one on the right. And you'll learn about my business family pack that you can be in control of your income. So this is retirement bank. Retirement bank to add to your Social Security, to add to whatever you save, to add to your sound money wallet savings that you're starting. Okay. There's the key here in explaining and understanding this. So just because you didn't get out of the blocks real quick, just because you have, or some of people in my organization have 20 million in part of their bank, but they've earned checks. Some people have 11 million, 12 million. So it depends on which side, which leg they're on. And some people have 500,000. Some people have 200,000. Some people have new getting started, made a lot of checks in the company. They may only have 11,000 in their bank, but 11,000 is 11,000 in the bank. There's always more being coming up, adding to that. And what you want to do is you want to start making here what's coming up every week and then dig into that bank. Okay. That's the key. So you got a future. You got something to work for. Don't throw it away. Don't go starting over somewhere else. See, that's how you really fail. Hopping from one deal to the next deal. And there's nothing better than wealth building, getting 1099 tax benefits, and working on building up to that $250 check every week until you can get a $500 check every week, turn that $500 check into more than $500, then turn that $500 check into $1,000 a week, then turn that $1,000 a week into $2,000 a week. That's what you're looking for. And you got everything you need to do it as this company continues to expand nationwide, meaning border to border, coast to coast, and then globally as we ping pong, because you got an infinite left, infinite right, and you're going to have a global business. If you're here 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, depending on where you're at in the company. But if you're new joining us and you just starting, you got 20 years ahead of you. You could have an unbelievable business just through the power of exponential expansion. If everybody's only half as good as you get two. But if you can't exponentially expand if you're not doing this, the job description, there's the real key. You got to have exponential expansion going on. And you can't have this if you're not doing a job description. But look, if it took you 12 years that you ended up with at least 2,000 people on one side and 2,000 people on the other side, well, that'd be the ideal. But what if you end up with 3,000 people on the left side and you got a big bank and you got 1,000 people on your right side? 1,000 people buying a 20-point coin is 20,000 points a month. That's enough for a $5,000 check every week, y'all. What if they're only buying a 15-point? Okay, well, that's 15,000. That's more. That's more than a $2,000 check every week. That's pretty cool. So you have to let the power of exponential expansion. And does network marketing, yeah, we all know it works. Look at all the companies have. Now you have a chance to be with that. So you got to keep your attitude straight. And then you got to develop these three essential beliefs before you can succeed. Because if you don't have the belief in you, you're not going to be doing that job description. So this is what's so important. And then build yourself up a testimony, a wealth building testimony with your how to build strategy of 7K. Everybody having an account because everybody needs one. I've given you all the presentation. Take these pictures, and these explain why you want to accumulate gold and silver over time as a complete diversification to your retirement planning. No, you don't want to go dipping into it. This is your true retirement planning to add to your Social Security, to add to what if you're employed with your 401k, as long as they're going to do, your employer's doing a matching contribution, everybody should be doing that because that's 100% earnings. Okay. But anything above that, I never recommend anybody putting anything else above and beyond what the employer matches. You should be doing your own because you're in control of it. Not going to get any benefit. Oh, forget about those stupid, they call it tax benefit. Forget about that. You know, make money, make your money, make money. So these are things that you could be texting out along with that link that I'm talking about. You should have these pics on your phone. You could text those out 5, 10 a day to people in that follow-up list. People, but don't do them every day to the same person. Remember, you are going through a systematic process of retouching people on that 500 people list. So just think if you got a 500 people list and you're doing 5 a day, that's 100 days worth of follow up. So you got people to contact. You're just not doing it and not using the right tools, the right information. You could text any of these things to as part of your follow up program. Any of these picks along with your link. Okay. You could do a combination of 2 or 3. Don't do more than 3. Okay. As a follow up. But make sure they tie in together, these pictures, okay? Because sound money's where it's at, y'all. That's why the company basically kind of forced you into doing this the right way. They took bullion away from you. Why do it? Why have it? we know you're going to have a problem selling it. Like I've had a problem selling bullion all my life. When I had to sell it, believe me, I had to take a lot less than I knew it was really worth. But that was my only avenues to get the best price I could at that particular time when I needed that money. Since gold and silver was the basis of my wealth, not dollars, not stocks, not bonds, not mutual funds. All those things let me down in my lifetime. They didn't. But I wasn't working for an oil company. See, now people were working for Exxon, Shell, Marathon, those kind. Hey, look, those stocks are valuable. They have great employee plan. Those people, if they manage their monies properly, yeah, they're set. But they still need gold and silver. Okay. And there are a few other companies, bellwether company like that, but not many, not many. Okay. And very few people have the chance to work for those kind of companies. So that's why you need your own. That's why everybody needs their own with a Sound Money wallet account. They get it free with 7K. Now, everybody can go to sound.money, the website, and look, that's $199 a year. So we got a deal for them. They can get a 149 account, start a 7K account. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am I'm gonna give a testimony, and if people have a testimony, kind of like mine, okay, I want you to kind of raise your hand. I'll call on you. I want it real quick, short. I want it, I want numbers here. I don't want a lot of talk and a gab. I want a such and such date. I'm going to give you an example, okay? And if you got two examples, because you did a multiple thing, that'd be fine. Okay, I'm going to give an example. It's the same one I gave at the convention in April of 2023 in Sound Money. I bought $10,000 worth of gold. Okay. I'm sorry, I bought $20,000 worth of gold in April of 2023. That in Sound Money, and I got 11.855 ounces of gold in my Sound Money wallet. Now I still today have those 11.855 ounces. And y'all can do this on your phone calculator with me. Okay. Uh, Today, if you multiply that times the going price for gold, gee whiz, I didn't look for that today, but let's just say it's $3,342.30 an ounce. Okay. If it's $3,342.30 an ounce, and I can sell it back to 7K, then that is worth $39,622.97. I doubled my money, y'all. Where else could I have done that and have the security that has been sitting there, safe, secure, insured by Lloyd's of London, and at a click of a button, I can sell it back to them? See, that's a testimony. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want to give a quick testimony. Join me. Where's Linda? I know Linda has one. Where you at, Linda? Raise your hand, Linda. Come on. Okay,
It's there. It's there.
okay. Unmute. There you go. So you have a testimony. I know you do. So I want you to give that quick testimony.
Well, since I've been with 7K, I joined him in 2021, and I really didn't do much for a year, to be honest with you. I didn't know what I was doing. Then I hopped on the trainings, and a lot of trainings. I go on Monday night calls. I go on Saturday. I do my team trainings on Thursdays. If I see a training on Facebook, I go on it. You can never get enough information, and knowledge applied knowledge is power. Information's free. Applied knowledge is power. In the last, so I would say the last 3 years since I've been working it seriously, I've amassed over $50,000 in my stack and sell. I have over 250 coins. Like I said, I started a go back IRA less than a year ago, and that's amassed a 30% return so far. And I have over 10,000 in my Sound Money wallet, but I did start purchasing gold before I learned about 7K, and it was at 1680 an ounce. So I have doubled what I have purchased in gold myself, more than doubled. So I mean, I'm sitting pretty. And the commissions I'm making with 7K by just sharing this platform, because you're not selling. I've been in sales for 30 years. You're not selling, you're just sharing.
Hey,
You tell someone, so basically that's my story.
thank you,
Not to
Lynn.
be
Uh,
too wordy.
but you had a couple of conversions you made in your Sound Money wallet. Okay.
What are you
Got
saying?
a couple of specific conversions that you made in your Sound Money wallet.
Um,
That's okay. Never mind.
yeah, I'm
We'll
confused
move
on that
on.
one.
Thank you. Sandy. I'm on Sandy Terry.
Hi, Bob. I just my story isn't nearly as successful as Linda's,
But
but
you just give your
we
testimony, sweetheart. That's all you need to
we
do.
we do have a successful for us testimony. My husband and I live in Amarillo, Texas. We have been in the business a little over 2 years. Haven't done a whole lot. However, the we are both business owners. I own a daycare business, and my husband owns a mechanic shop. And neither one of us have planned well for our future. We've had some medical issues on my husband's side come up, and so any savings that we have had were completely diminished, and our credit card bills have skyrocketed. So, with that being said, we were on the work till you die plan. We were not looking to be able to retire at all. However, thanks to 7K, I am now on a path to be able to dig myself out of this hole. And also, we have put money back in our Sound Money wallet, and that's growing more than any savings that I have ever tried to do, because it also is gaining more value as it goes by, even if I don't put anything in there. But I am putting it in there, and then also with pneumatic coins, we've also been able to grow our wealth. So between our nomadic coins and our collectible side and the bullion side, we've got over $20,000 in assets in the last 2 years, and that is remarkable for us.
That is, and that's
In the
remarkable for anyone. And so, just in a few short time, you've amassed that, and you're not very likely to sell it, are you? You're back to keep.
No,
That's
no,
what retirement planning and savings is all about. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you.
thank you.
Right. Okay. Uh, Look, I know. I want just a quick testimony on your Sound Money wallet, if you have one, kind of like I gave. Back maybe a year ago you bought so much in gold or silver in your Sound Money wallet, and this is how many ounces you have today and what it's worth. Just a short, quick thing. If you've got one, then I want you to, raise your hand and give your quick little testimony. I know I'm not looking for a 7K testimony. I'm looking for your your savings testimony right now. Do how much you got? Maybe you've been with us for 3 years or 4 years or 1 year, and you've got X amount in your stack and sell, and you got X amount in your Sound Money wallet. That is a valuable testimony. It doesn't matter if it's uh, $3,000 or $2,000. That's $2,000 or $3,000 you wouldn't have saved. That's the whole point. So if anybody'd like to share a testimony like that, I want you to be able to do that here at this opportunity. Anybody raise your hand? If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out this training. And of course, since we gave some testimonies, none of us are advisors, financial advisors, none of us are uh, financial planners. We're all just customers of 7K metals and sound money, and we just enjoy sharing what we have. And there's an income that is created. I mean, we can get sound money. We can get instant gold pay by sharing. Whereas, uh, and if people want to build and build an income like you and I, okay, there's a tremendous referral share plan, the highest paying in the industry. I don't think there's one that I know of, that I'm aware of, that pays more for doing the same amount of work while we're accumulating wealth. And we encourage everybody to read our income disclosure. There are people making these kind of monies in 7K. Some people hardly even ever make a $500 check in a year in network marketing. But in our company, $250, we give what we call a half quick start to people who can do that. Or our normal cycle is a $500 cycle check, 500 points left, 500 points right. We hadn't even talked about the comp plan, but that's why it's one of the highest paying, if not the highest paying referral comp plan in the industry. And I believe one that can help build business and a residual income for everyone while they're accumulating wealth. And yeah, I make these kind of incomes. I've been here for 8.5 years. It wasn't quick. It's not a get rich program, but it is one. If you're willing to learn now, willing to get 1099 tax benefit, willing to go through the process, uh, let's 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 just agree that if it took you 10 years to develop an extra $500 a month residual income, or $500 a week residual income for the rest of your life, that's pretty powerful. So I hope you see what we see. I hope you join us in this wealth building uh, company and teaching people how to build wealth, teaching people how to uh, plan for retirement appropriately with the diversification they need through sound money, gold and silver.